Hello friends, welcome to the TechBSoft. So today that session I'm recording for that commands of MongoDB. Like if you want to do some hands-on in MongoDB, right? How can we write the commands and what's the purpose of that all? So that we are going to cover in this session today. So before starting the commands, let's understand some basics of MongoDB. How does it start that implementation of it? So I'm opening one document. So first of all, you have a database first. So whenever you want to work with MongoDB, you should know what are the databases we have, right? And how to get the database as well. And then we have a table. So table, we do call that in MySQL, but in MongoDB, the table is converted into a collections. So in MongoDB, we do not call tables, that calls collections only. I just compare that with RDBMS or with relational database, right? Because anyway relational database we do have a more understanding, right? So that's why I just compare them. So database will remain the database only, table will remain the collections, and row data. What is the row data? Like how many rows we have, right? That is represented in the form of documents. Documents will be nothing like in the JSON format, right? So they will represent the row data. So table, collections. So collection and documents, these two are the important part here, right? So collection is representing the table, documents are representing the raw data. Now what are the data types? Every language having its own data type, which does say what type of data you are going to store on it, right? So we have a number data type which will store all kind of numeric values. It could be point or something. Then strings we have, right? And then strings we have arrays as well. So arrays will store the multiple values like that. Okay, so these are the data type: numbers, strings, and arrays. After that we have object kind of documents, right? So this is, I told right here, documents is what? Row data, and every row will look like one objects only, right? So normally we do say, right, one object will having a one row, two object having a two row, kind of that. So how do we practice that? How do we write this all commands? How do we check that? Then we are going to perform this into a Mongo shell. So first you have to open the terminal, right? And the terminal, if your Mongo shell and MongoDB install, so first you have to install MongoDB and then Mongo shell. After that you have to write Mongo sh. If you will write the Mongo sh, right, MongoDB will start. So here we will look some kind of commands, like if I want to see how many databases I have, right? So what I will do, right, show DBs. Please watch carefully so you will get complete idea of it. So here I have three predefined databases: admin, config, and local. But normally what happen, right, we do not work with the previous one. I will create a new database for that. Then how do we create new database? So for that I have a command, use the database name. So I will give trainee here. So that means it will create a new database as well as it will move to my database also. So this time I am in trainee database. If you want to see show DBs, you can see here one more database is created called trainee, and I am right now in the trainees only, right? So trainee we have, and then we have databases like admin, local, and config, like that. So here I have to perform some commands, right? So first command, what it could be. So inside the trainee database, do we have any table, right? So we know what is a table, that is nothing like collection only, right? So I will write command show collections. So this time it is not showing me any collection like that, because there is no collection we created, right? No table we created. So how to create the collection, right? So I will write db dot create collection. And what could be the collection name? I can give suppose it is employee. So we'll get the command, okay, response 1. That means table is created. Okay, but you can see here, if you can compare with this RDMS, right, I did not give any column here. I did not give any type of the columns here. We just given the table name only, collection name only, employee. I don't know how many columns they they have. So they do manage the column as per the insertion of that values, right? So what we are going to insert on, according to that it will manage. So right now if you want to see here, so collections, right, I will get one collection called employee here. So the first thing we have to know how to create the collection. So collection is employee right now, and then I'm getting that is a collection like employee here. What could be the next? Next we should know that how to insert. I want to insert in the employee table, right, employee collection. What I want to insert, I want to insert some record, user ID, username, location, phone number, and interested, on which it is interested, right? Same like user ID, username, location, phone numbers, and interest, like that. So I'm copying this all. You have to remember the db.employee.insert. This is a command for that, which is going to insert the data. Okay, so it is taking in the form of array. Let me copy this and let me paste it. So I have like db employee insert, right? And then we have a different information, user ID, username, location, phone number, interest, right? Same user ID, username, location, and I will write enter only after that. So you can see here I will get the information that acknowledge true, that means command has executed successfully. Insert IDs, so it inserted ID 0, 1, 2. So I told you, right, when I was showing that basics of MongoDB, introduction of MongoDB, that MongoDB itself is take care of the primary key. So here we are getting some object ID, right? That is a primary key for that, which could not be different, which could not be duplicate. For every row, it does manage this kind of IDs, 0, 1, 2, something like that. Now, if you want to see that how many record you have, right? So for fetch the record, to test the record, we have like db dot collection name dot find. And we have one more thing. If you want to make it in a proper format, we have like pretty as well. So if I will write that much, right? So this command is for getting the whatever the data we have under the employees collection, right? If I will write it, I will get, this is a record we have in the employees collection. So you can see here, I just gave this three data, user ID, username, location, phone number, and interest. Right? But ID underscore ID generated automatically. You can see here, what is the ID we have? 8DC4, 8DC4 for first record, for second record 8DC5, right? 8DC5 and 8DC6, like that it is creating here. So that is all about how do we insert the record and how do we fetch the record. Right now, insertion is happening at once only, right? Fetch is one of the important part. So here we are finding db.employees.find.pretty. That means it is giving me all the record. Right now, suppose if you want to find only the record which are having IDs like 2 or ID having like 3, it could be any ID. So how do we write command for that? So we have like db.employee collection dot find. Now what I want to find, I want to find that user which is having IDs like suppose 2 user, we have ID, right, underscore ID. So what I want like only suppose for 3 ID. So that is a command db.employee.find.userid3. After that, what happen, right? If I will give enter, it will give me error, comma is X. Okay, here we have to write comma. Not like comma, it is a 3 only. Okay, we have to pass under this curly braces and dot pretty. So now I'm getting, so previously what I'm doing, I was just giving in parenthesis only, right? But now we have to give a curly braces. So whichever ID whichever column you want to give, so you can think like it's one kind of column information, and on the basis of that it will give me all record. So db.employee.find user ID column 3. That means I want to look the ID which is 3, right, in the console. Okay, so there's a one command, and then we have like db dot employee dot find. We can provide, like, suppose if we have a multiple kind of uh, conditions, right? I have performed, like, I want to get 2 and 3 both together, I want to get 3 and 4 together, all three together, right? So we have a mix-up kind of things, right? So that time we do use like this way, user id underscore id colon, right? Here I will use dollar in. So dollar in is also like one kind of attribute here, which do use how many we want. So suppose I want to see that 2,3 on it, right? Then it is a closing of this user id. So that is also start with the curly braces, right? So it is starting with the curly braces, and here it is a curly braces, then in a square bracket, and then I have to write parenthesis dot pretty, right? So if you will write it and hit enter, so that time I will get only those record which comes under this category 2,3. So here we are writing db.employees dot find user id in 2,3. So we may have some kind of scenario where I want to fetch the record with a specific conditions, right? Not like with one condition, like 2 conditions should be matched, 3 conditions should be matched. So we can pass 2,3. If I will pass here like say 1 comma say 9, right? So 1 we don't have, 9 also we don't have, then what happen, right? Nothing will come. If I will pass here suppose 2 comma 9, so 2 we have but 9 we do not have, right? That time I will get only the one record. So in what does it say? That whichever is matching, that record you will get, whichever is not matching, that record will not come, kind of that. Okay, so this is something, if you can compare with your MySQL, if you have understanding of it, right, then we'd write select star from employee where user id in, same in also here working, which is kind of or operation. Or means it will match both, that record you will get it like that, right?